All right, we are back. This is NHL 20 Franchise Mode Calgary Flames. This is episode number 50. Yes, welcome to the 50th episode of our franchise mode here at the Calgary Flames, and welcome into our very final run at a Stanley Cup here, and one of our final episodes, maybe our final one, let's hope not, but one of our final episodes of franchise mode NHL 20 here with the Calgary Flames. You can see it is April of 2025. We have spent 6 seasons as GM of the Calgary Flames, and we are wrapping up our final and 6th year as GM of the Calgary Flames, taking one last run here at a Stanley Cup. We did win a Stanley Cup last year in 2024. We're trying to go back-to-back here and finish off as Cup champions before we retire as GM. So yes, welcome into the 50th episode. I can't believe it. 50 episodes here in franchise mode with the Calgary Flames, and will be one of the last ones as we are looking to start up a new franchise mode, of course, in NHL 21. That will be coming up pretty soon on this channel, but for now we are going to obviously finish off the last couple episodes of this franchise mode, and it begins with the Stanley Cup Playoffs here in 2025, and you can see we got the Chicago Blackhawks here, and like I said, we won the Stanley Cup 1 year ago with this team. We beat the Florida Panthers in 6 games to win our franchise's second Stanley Cup, our first Stanley Cup since 1989. Now we're just trying to go back-to-back as we are an elite team. We did finish, surprisingly, if you've been watching this season and this franchise mode, the last few episodes, that is, we did finish as division champions, which is absolutely bizarre considering how bad our season was in the first half. We really looked like we were not even going to be close to a playoff team in the first half, and then we picked it up in the second half. Went absolutely lights out offensively. We brought in a brand new goaltending tandem to help us solidify what was our worst aspect of our team by far, and that was our goaltending. Our goals against was horrible. It wasn't even close to playoff caliber. So we solidified that about end of December, early January. We brought in Braden Holtby, a new starting goalie, and we also brought in a backup at the trade deadline in Ilya Samsonov. We traded away both of our goalies that we had here, including the guy who won us a Vezina Trophy and a Stanley Cup last year and could have won us a Conn Smythe because he was that good in our Stanley Cup run last year in Jordan Binnington. But unfortunately, we had to make some big gambles this season, and it did turn around for our team. Like I said, we turned our team completely around. We did a complete 180 from pretty much dead last in the NHL, definitely dead last in our conference, to winning a division title. Our offense went from pretty much bottom 10 or bottom 5 to first in the best offense in the league. Same with our power play. Our goals against did improve significantly, but it's still is about around the halfway mark, and we'll get a look at this in a second here, but the PK still struggled. But yeah, let's jump right into it because I don't want to waste too much time here in this episode. Like I said, we want to get right into the first round, so I'm going to, as I'm talking here, I'm going to get into these stat screens because we're obviously going to do the look here at the Chicago Blackhawks and kind of scout them out here for the playoffs. But yeah, you can see here we are. So let's go by entire league for now, and then we're going to see where we stand, where Chicago stands. But yeah, you can see we finished sixth overall in the NHL when it was all said and done. Like I said, absolutely bizarre if you've been watching it. I'm not going to go over it too much. I'm not going to go month by month breakdown of our record. But if you were watching, go back and watch it if you didn't. But if you were watching, absolutely bizarre how bad we were in October, November, and even December. It started to pick up, but then January was like the flip of the calendar was like a brand new season. We just went lights out January, February, March. We went on a massive run, and like I said, finished 6th in the NHL from pretty much dead last. I think we were 30th at one point. I don't know if we were ever 31st, but we were definitely 30th. So let's just take a quick look here at goals for per game. Again, we were in the bottom 10 probably in the first half of the season, like one of the 10th worst teams, and we went all the way from that to the best team in the NHL in goals for. Absolutely lights out second half. Offense went through the roof in the side. Like, I don't even know how to describe it. 366 is what we're averaging. That's a bizarre goals for per game. 366, obviously, that's insane. That's good enough, like I said, for first in the NHL. As you can see, let's see where Chicago stands. Are they a high offensive team? There they are. So they're about, probably 15th. Let's just take a rough look here. So you got about 8 there. 9, 10, 11, 12. So they're 12th in the league in offense. They're putting up 3.12 goals for per game. That's not bad. Still averaging over 3 goals a game. So they are pretty high offensive team. Let's see where they rank in goals against per game. All right, so best goals against per game is Minnesota. Excuse me, this is worst to best. And you can see, like I said, we did improve a little bit. We're still in the bottom 8th. This is 8th worst goals against per game. But we were dead last for pretty much all season until we flipped the switch there. So I mean, that's improved. That's a huge improvement for us. And a lot of that is due to Braden Holtby coming in, as well as rounding out our defense with Patrick Nemeth coming over at the trade deadline as well. But let's see where Chicago sits again. We're going from worst to best this time, and there they are. So they are in the bottom 15th. They're averaging 3.09 goals against per game. We're averaging what? Or are we averaging 3.24? All right, so I mean, we are worse than they are in terms of goals against per game. But you can see that they are definitely in the bottom half as well. So we're both similar teams. We're high-scoring teams, but we're allowing a lot of goals per game as well. All right, as we look here at special teams, let's go by power play percentage and then PK, and let's see where we rank there in terms of special teams. So power play, we do have the second best power play in the league. As mentioned again, absolutely bizarre that we had one of the worst power plays in the first half of the season, and then like I said, our offense just went lights out, completely exploded, and as did our power play as well. It reflects that with 26.4, good enough for second in the league. In terms of the Chicago Blackhawks, where do they rank here? We're going from top to bottom, and you can see they're just in the bottom half here, 18.9%. So we have them definitely beat on the power play there. We have a better power play unit that we can send out than do the Chicago Blackhawks. So let's take a look now at the PK as well. So PK, this is going from best to worst. Let's go worst to best here. So there it is. You can still see that we do have the worst PK in the league. And again, I kind of talked about it there. Everything improved except for the PK. Even our goals against improved significantly, but our PK has been bad all season long, and I just don't understand. We did try a lot of different things on the PK this year, different players, different positions. Nothing seemed to work. You can see we are just by far the worst team on the PK, 74.1%. So that's definitely our biggest weakness. We're going from worst to best here. Let's just see where the Chicago Blackhawks are in terms of their PK. Like I said, we have a lethal power play, so how are they going to defend that? Looks like they're actually in the top half here. Oh my god. So they have the second best PK, operating at 84.9%. So we should have went from top to bottom here. Yeah, so this is going to be a good battle, because I mean, we have the second best power play in the league. They have the second best penalty kill in the league. So it's going to be a really good special teams battle. They have a all right power play, and mediocre power play, if you will. We have a very horrible PK. So I mean, it's gonna be an interesting special teams battle. I'm definitely interested in that. And other than that, we're both high-scoring teams. Obviously, we're a better offensive team than they are. That reflects here in our season stats here, and our player stats there. But yeah, I mean, it's going to be interesting. So we looked at this in the last episode. We looked at our team offensively, what we did here. So, I mean, I'm not going to go through this. What we're going to do here is go right into the Chicago Blackhawks, not our AHL team. Right into the Chicago Blackhawks here and take a look at how their team did and who their best players are here on their team. And why do I keep going past it? All right. Here we go. So they're led, of course, still by Patrick Kane, it looks like. Doesn't look like they have Jonathan Toews anymore, but they are led by Patrick Kane, who's now 36 years of age. 88 points through 79 games for Patrick Kane. Still puts up a 40-goal season. So still really good offensive weapon for them is Patrick Kane. Alex DeBrincat, who's really coming to his own at 27 years of age in the middle of his prime. 76 points there through 82 games, 25 goals. He's probably on the same line there as Patrick Kane. Top line right there. Kirby Dach probably on your second line there, 70 points, unless they got him on the left side. Pretty good, 70 points there through 82 games. Then you get down here to Alexander Nylander, 67 points. Barclay Goodrow, who's got, this is a different Goodrow. This is Bernard Goodrow. Bernard Goodrow, I don't know. 64 points there for him. He looks like he's 21 years of age, so must be a guy they just drafted. Brendan Perlini is still there, at 55 points. Dylan Strome, 5 points there. So it's quite spread out, as you can see here with their team. Devin Shore, Carl Gunnarsson, who was on our team last year, won a Stanley Cup with us last year, goes to the Chicago Blackhawks this year. Alex Burakovsky there. They got some good players, but you can see Jack Roslovic, their offense is very spread out. So it'll be interesting to take a look at their lines here. They don't have a lot of defensemen up there. Tony DeLangelo, is he their top scoring defenseman? He is their top scoring defenseman. So their defense is not producing a lot of offense. So that's interesting to note. You can see all their defense down here. Actually, Adam Borgquist is a defenseman. Tony DeAngelo, Nathan Beaulieu, Kelvin DeHaan, David Savard, excuse me, and then, of course, Cal Foote there. So, yeah, I mean, their defense is not producing a lot. Grizzlick there as well. Let's take a look at their goaltending quickly, and then we'll jump right into the lines here. All right, goaltending. So they are led by Linus Ullmark. All right, so this is going to be interesting because, like I said, if you've been watching this franchise, well, there's not a lot of good starting goalies out there. And Linus Ullmark, you can see right here, is 80 overall. He is listed as a backup goalie. He should not be a starting goalie on a playoff team, but he is. Our backup is even better than Linus Ullmark. Now, that's not saying much because this is all on paper, but what I'm saying is that there's not a lot of quality goalies out there. We have a good one in Braden Holtby. We should have them beat in the goaltending department, but we'll look at that here in a second. Nevertheless, here, Linus Ullmark still getting the job done for them. 914 save percentage here. 914, excuse me. 263 goals against. That's good enough through 58 games to get it done. Looks like he split quite a bit of the season here with Samuel Montembeault, the former Florida Panther netminder. Montembeault coming in here playing 33 games, not as good of a record here in the win-loss column as Linus Ullmark, and actually his numbers reflect that as well. 884, 359 goals against. So that kind of reminds us of our backup goalie. Our backup goalie before this year was a lot worse, but it kind of reminds us a little bit of our previous backup goalie as well. So with that, let's take a look now quickly at the lineups, and then we'll get right into this this first round here against the Chicago Blackhawks. So let's go here by lines, see what the Chicago Blackhawks are throwing at us now that we can kind of see what their team is made out of. All right, here we go. Let's go down to Chicago. All right, so as expected, it is DeBrincat and Patrick Kane on that top line. Like we said, 88, 86 overall still for Patrick Kane. Really good top line. They also put Alexander Nylander on there, who I thought would produce a little bit more being on the top line. It's not showing us his stats right now. I don't know why. We can't look at his regular season stats. All right, there we are. So 67 points as mentioned for Nylander. I thought he would maybe have a little bit higher of a goal total playing on that top line, but he does put up 54 assists. I guess when you're feeding Patrick Kane and Alex DeBrincat at the puck, usually Kane, though, is the playmaker. Looks like he's taken more of a scoring role now that guys like Jonathan Toews are gone. He's produced himself into more of a goal scorer with DeBrincat and Nylander. Either way, still a really good top line right here. Still a high offensive octane top line there with Nylander, DeBrincat, and Kane. Second line looking like this. This Goodrow guy is improved to an 87, so he is good. What was his stats again? Yeah, so he put up 64 points, 37 goals, almost hits the 54, almost hits the 40 goal plateau, excuse me, is what I was trying to say. So yeah, you can see actually didn't even play for Chicago the last couple of years. Played for their, is that their junior team? That's a QMJHL team. All right, so he was actually in the juniors last year. He played, why did he play in the juniors, but he played in the NHL before that? That's so weird. Those are some really weird stats. But nevertheless, he played a year in the NHL, went back to junior for a full year, put up 119 points in junior, and came back to the NHL. I mean, I don't know why Chicago just didn't keep him in the NHL, last year as well. That's 23, 24. Yeah, I don't know. That's weird. Anyways, this Goodrow guy, who they obviously drafted, let's see, 5th overall in 2022. He's pretty good. He's on that second line there. Kirby Dach, Brendan Perlini. That's a strong second line, 87, 87, 84. Burakovsky on the third line here. Strome, 85 down the middle, 80 here with this Stankov guy, Logan Stankov, Strome, Burakovsky, and then you got Gunnarsson, who is supposed to be a defenseman, if I'm not mistaken. He was a defenseman for us. So why he's playing forward? This is Carl Gunstrom. Excuse me, I was thinking of the. No, that's who we had last year. It was Gunstrom. I don't know. Either way, anyways, him, Jack Roslovic, Drew Shore. That's the fourth line there. Not a bad fourth line. I mean, we're looking at 81, 81, 80 across the board. So when I look at this team offensively, they're strong. I mean, they're very strong down the middle, 88, 87, 85, right down the middle, even Roslovic at 81. They got a lot of support throughout all lines. That's probably why their offense has been pretty spread out. But let's take a look at what is probably their weakest part of their team, and that's probably their defense and goaltending. And oh my God, look at that defense. That is gross. 81 overall, 82 overall. That's their top pairing in DeAngelo and Borgquist. That is why the numbers reflected what they did when we looked at that. This is Nicholas Burdin. Budin, him and Cal Foote there on the second pairing, 81-81 for both of them, and then Kelvin DeHaan and David Savard, excuse me. All right, so yeah, I mean that's a weak defensive core. I mean these guys are barely in the 80s. Savard is a 79. The rest of them are 81, 82. Like, that is a weak defensive core. How they even got to the playoffs with this defensive core, I'm not sure. You saw like how bad our team was with the defense we had at the first half of the season. Like, we had a much better defense than this in the first half of the season, and we still had to make major changes to our defensive core because it was just that bad. Let's take a quick look at the special teams. So power play is quite average. I mean, they can that's pretty much all they can do with their PP. Their PK is really good, though. Let's take a look at this. They got Roslovic. This Goodrow must be a really good defensive player as well. They must just have the right pieces here. Again, these aren't guys that are going to blow you out of the water on the PK and when you look at their overalls, but they must just have the right mix here when it comes to their PK. Quickly, let's look at their goaltending here, and then I just want to match it with our lines, and we'll get right into it here. So there, like I said, Linus Ullmark and Samuel Maltenbolt. That's probably not the goaltending tandem you want. 80 and 79 overall. We know by looking at Maltenbolt's numbers that he really can't be trusted to come in and steal them games. So they're probably not too comfortable playing him at all in these Stanley Cup playoffs. So we just have to get through Linus Ullmark, and at 80 overall, we should have no problem doing that as pretty much a backup goalie. But again, that's on paper. Watch him just completely stand on his head for the Chicago Blackhawks. All right, let's quickly match it with our line. So we looked at their offense. Let's look at our offense just really quickly. We're still going to roll with this. Now, what happened is at the end of the last episode, if you didn't watch it, one of our players got injured. I believe it was Patrick Nemeth on defense. So I hit best lines by accident. So it actually remade all of our lines. So I just went back and made our offensive lines what they were when we finished the season with. We're going to still obviously keep this amazing line with a +5 chemistry of Gaudreau, McKinnon, and Tkachuk together, as well as our second line, Ovechkin, Monahan, and Dubé. This top 6 is the biggest reason why our season got turned around besides Brain Holtby. They just blew the roof off offensively, carried our team. This top 6 did single-handedly, and that's the reason our offense is where it is, especially this top line, or excuse me, our team finished where we did and made the Stanley Cup playoffs. So we're obviously keeping our top 6 exactly the same. We're not going to touch it ever. That's an incredible top line, incredible second line. As good as Chicago's top 6 is, I think ours is still better when you look at the overalls and everything. Even though Ovechkin's down to an 83 now, I think our top 6 is still better. We have a pretty good depth down here. Not as good as we had in previous years, but still pretty good. That's still a decent third line, 81 to 82, 78. Everly's gone down quite a bit. And then our bottom line, fourth line, I should say, Zarnik, Phillips, and Scott Wilson still looking like that. Probably equivalent to what they have on their fourth line. Defense, this is where we're so much better. Juuso Välimäki, Dougie Hamilton is what we're going to go with. Manson and Anderson. Like I said, we usually have Patrick Nemeth in here, who we got at the trade deadline as a defensive defenseman to come in, but he's injured right now, so Rakdal Gudas steps back in the lineup alongside Oliver Shillington. That's not too bad, but compared to their defensive core, that's, insane. In terms of special teams, like I said, I just put our top unit back together in the PP. This was our top power play unit all season long, and like I said, they really picked it up in the second half, so we're going to leave this top unit intact as well as our second unit. But what I didn't touch when I went back to best lines is the PK. This is what the computer says is our best PK unit. So you know what? For once this season, I'm going to listen to it. I'm just going to let the computer give us our best PK option here, because clearly everything I've tried all year long with matching lines, bringing in different players on the PK, it has not worked. We have the worst PK in the league. So you know what? I'm not even going to touch it. I'm going to let, whatever these lines are, the fact that they have Bennett and Wilson on the PK, and the fact that they don't have a guy like Nathan McKinnon anywhere on your PK, you know what? If that's what they say is going to get it done, if these are the guys that are going to fit the line, it can't get any worse than what we have right now in our PK. I had like Monahan, McKinnon on our PK. I had our top defensive defenseman up there, but clearly it wasn't working. So we will let our PK auto generate here with the computer, and hopefully that turns our PK around here in the playoffs, because we're going to need it. We're definitely going to be shorthanded at times. Like I said, Braden Holtby's still in the 89 compared to the 80 overall that Linus Ullmark is. We should have them beat. Even Ilya Samsonov at 83 is so much better than what they have as a backup. Remember, Samsonov coming over the trade deadline as well was the starting goalie for the San Jose Sharks all season long, so he could easily be a starter as well. We have a much stronger goaltending tandem thanks to the trade deadline, and we should have them beat on paper easily. They are a good offensive team. They have a strong PK, But other than that, we should easily have them beat. Again, that's on paper. We know how that's gone. But this will be our first round matchup is the Chicago Blackhawks. And if we want a chance at repeating as Stanley Cup champions, we have to find a way through this first round through Chicago. If we don't find a way through them, this will be our last episode. So let's hope it's not. Excuse me. Right, there's a quick look at your other matchups there in the Stanley Cup Playoffs, West and East. I'm not going to go through them. Let's jump right in. Let's get right into it. Chicago, Calgary, Round 1, 2025 Stanley Cup Playoffs. Like I said, we just won another divisional title. I believe that's either our second or third divisional title in the last 6 years that we've been GM. We're trying to win our second Stanley Cup as GM of the Calgary Flames in the last 6 years. We're going back-to-back here in 24 and 25. Let's see if we can make it happen. It starts here with Game 1 of the Western Conference quarterfinals against the Chicago Blackhawks. So let's go. We're going to go real-time sim for all these games. You saw the lineups. Let's get right in here. Game 1 of the Stanley Cup Playoffs. Here we go, real-time sim. And we are underway in Game 1. And the first goal of the Stanley Cup Playoffs goes to Jack Roslovic of the Chicago Blackhawks. And then they get, we get a goal. It's Josh Manson. And then they get one back here from Dylan Strome. So we're going back and forth here in the first bit here, the first period. So not the way we want to start here, going down 2-1. Looking after 20 minutes here. So yeah, 2-1. We are out shooting them 13-8. But yeah, we got to get our offense going because again, that's where we're going to have them beat. Definitely, being a better offensive team, and more importantly, them being a more weaker defensive team and a weaker team with goaltending. All right, let's get right through this. Next period here. What are my buttons? Here we go. Second period. There we go. I always forget what button it is. All right. Here we go. Second period underway. Come on, Flames. We got to bounce back here in Game 1. We don't want to go down 0-1 in this series. Here we go. Power play. First look at the power play. Man, we have such a good power play. What happened? So we do get a goal from Matthew Phillips on the fourth line to tie this game up, and then we get one from Jordan Eberle on the third line. So some good bottom six scoring coming through for us as we take the lead for the first time in this game. 3-2. Come on, Flames. All right, we get it there. All right, third period. Let's see if we hang on. We've got a 1-goal lead here in the third period. They've got a 5-on-3 to start against the weakest PK in the NHL, and we somehow kill it off. Now we got to look at the power play. Can't convert. Come on, Flames. Come on, Flames. We need this one right here. Let's hang on for the win here, Calgary. 6 minutes ago, we're hanging on to a 1-goal lead. Here's the power play to pad some insurance. We don't get it. Do we hang on? Do we hang on? Yes, we do. All right. We will take the 3-2 win. We bounce back in the second period there and steal Game 1. So that's what you want to see. 2-point night there for Giroux. Eberle had a goal. The third line looking really good tonight. I think it was a quiet night for our top line. We're going by ice leaders here. So yeah, quiet night for our top players. Kachuk, Monahan, McKinnon, Gaudreau. Everybody held off the score sheet. Ovechkin. So very quiet night for that top six, which has been lights out, as well as our defensemen. But our third line, our bottom six, comes through with some depth scoring. Matthew Phillips, Jordan Eberle, who scored, Josh Manson as well, gets it done. 9-2-6, quietly a good night there for Braden Holtby in his Calgary Flames playoff debut. Gets the job done, as mentioned. Holtby's numbers weren't anything spectacular when he came over in the second half with us. Like, I mean, they were decent. They were above 900, but they weren't anything spectacular. But the biggest thing is his record. I mean, he just won hockey games left, right, and center for us, since he came over I think it was the last couple weeks of December. I forget when we made that trade with Washington. All right, with that, we jump into Game 2 here. So we do pick up the 1-0 win in the series. Excuse me. Let's get right into Game 2 here. We're going to keep the same lineup. We're still without Patrick Nemeth, I believe, till the 15th. So that's probably for the next 3 games at least here of this first round. And then we bring in one of our better defensive defensemen back into the lineup. All right, here we go. So we're going to keep the same lineup, everything the same here going into Game 2. Here we go. First period is underway. Flames and Hawks. Here we go. Come on, Calgary. Come on. Let's get it here. All right, so we get the first goal of the game. It is Juuso Valimaki. And then we get another one, Alex Ovechkin. So that's our first goal from our top 6, and it is Ovechkin coming in with a huge goal there for us. Up 2-0 here in the first period. All right, come on, Flames, come on. All right, nothing there, so let's keep going here. Second period. We're holding them to 6 shots. That's pretty good. Here's a look at the PP. We got to get our PP going here in the playoffs. I don't think we've had a power play goal yet here in the Stanley Cup playoffs. All right, come on, Flames. All right, nothing here so far through 40. Still hanging on to that 2-0 lead. Let's get into the third period here as I take a drink. All right, Johnny Gaudreau adds a goal. We're up 3-0 here in the third period with another look on the PP. Our power play is struggling, but the good thing is I think our PK has been perfect so far through 2 games. And as I say that, watch, they're going to score. Oh, my God. I thought they were going to score there. All right. Oh, my God, another PK. All right, we hang on. It's all good. So we shut them out 3-0 here in Game 2. That's a little bit of a better game. Our top defensemen, 2 of our top offensive players come through. Ovechkin, Gaudreau, Valimaki as well. 2-point night there for Kachuk, Monahan. Both top lines going at it there, getting in the scoring. Obviously, 24 save shutout performance there by Braden Holtby. Good enough to get the job done. Really good there. So yeah, we hang on to for a 2-0 series lead as we head this, or as the series heads back to Chicago. I'm stumbling today. I apologize. All right, so we'll take this 2-0 series back to the Windy City. So Patrick Nemeth is actually ready to come back a little bit early. So that's what you want to see as we head into Chicago. So let's quickly fill him in there instead of Rakto Gudas, because you don't ever want Rakto Gudas playing in the playoffs. All right, let's take Gudas out here. Let's get Patrick Nemeth back in. Again, Nemeth just an 80 overall, but his defensive stats is really good. He's listed as a top defensive defenseman. He's listed as a guy that should come in on your PK and get it done. But you know what? Our PK's been good right now, so I'm not even going to touch it. I was going to put Nemeth back on the PK, but like I said, I think it's been perfect, through 2 games. It's our power play that has struggled through 2 games, which is, again, a flip of what the end of the regular season was. All right, let's get into this. Game 3 from Chicago. Flames, Hawks, Game 3. We're up 2-0 in the series. Let's not give them any life. I mean, the quicker we can end this series, the better. Come on, Calgary. Let's get going here. All right, Sean Monahan in his first of the Stanley Cup Playoffs. That's big. 1-0 Flames. Come on, Calgary. All right, here we go. They get a goal from, Cal Foote. This game is tied. That breaks Braden Holtby's shutout streak of almost 4 full periods. Second period, here we go. Come on, Calgary. All right, Nathan MacKinnon, power play goal. There's our first power play goal. And then they get one here from Jack Roslovic to tie the game back up. That's a huge goal. MacKinnon, who's been held off the score sheet until now, gets his first of the Stanley Cup Playoffs. DeBrincat scores, gives them a 3-2 lead here as we head into the halfway point of this regulation. And then they get another one by Strome. Oh, my God. What are you doing here? And then Matthew Tkachuk scores, makes this a 1-goal game. High-scoring second period here. So back and forth we go. They get 3 goals, so in the middle of that middle period, we get goals from MacKinnon and Tkachuk. We're going to have to fight back here in the third period. Huge third period here for the Flames. Come on, Calgary, come on. It's nice to see guys like MacKinnon and Tkachuk get on the score sheet, but we definitely need to fight back here. I don't know what happened here to Braden Holtby. Not a good period at all for him. Come on, PK. All right, there we go. MacKinnon has tied the game up here with about 9 minutes to go in the third period. Come on, Flames. Hang on. Come on, Calgary. Let's get some more offense. 3 minutes to go. Game's tied at 4. Come on, Flames. Come on. All right, this is going to overtime. Thanks to MacKinnon's second of the game and of the playoffs, we are going to overtime. Do we get the 3-0 stranglehold on the series here in overtime? Come on, Flames. Come on, we just need 1 goal here in overtime. That's all we need. Come on, Calgary. Don't give them any life here in Game 3. Here we go. Power play in overtime. We got to get that. And, oh, fuck, they do. I was going to say we do. It's Alex DeBrincat that gets it. Ends this game 5-4, the final for Chicago. That's not fun. All right, 3-point night, though, for MacKinnon and Gaudreau. It's 2-point night for Monahan and Tkachuk. It's good to see our top players going back offensively, but not a good game in terms of defensive stats. 8-5-3 there for Braden Holtby. Not a good night for him, as well as probably some of our players here who are in the minuses. Quite spread out, actually. All right, so we give the Hawks Game 3. It's now down to a 2-1 series. Again, I still have full confidence, so we can take this series. We just got to get it back here in Game 4. The most important game of any series, Game number 4. If Chicago wins, they tie the series up at 2, and it becomes a best of 3. And if we win this, we got a 3-1 series lead and put Chicago on the ropes. That's why it's usually the most important game of any series. It's no different in this one. Here we go, Flames-Hawks. We need this one. Game number 4 from Chicago. Come on, Cal. We got to bounce back. We're not making any lineup changes at all. We get the first goal of this game. Tkachuk, his second of the playoffs. That's huge. Come on, Flames. Second of the game goes to Patrick Nemeth, his first of the Stanley Cup playoffs, and first since coming back in injury. Sean Monahan gets his second of the playoffs. All right, this is what I want to see. This is more like it. This is the offense that we have. Another goal from Monahan. Back-to-back goals from Monahan. He's been on fire. There we go. 4-0 after 20. That's exactly how you want to start Game 4 of the Stanley Cup Playoffs. Come on, Calgary. Keep it up here. All right. All we got to do really is hang on to this 4-0 win without giving them any life here. That's a huge, huge first period for the Calgary Flames, though. All right. Much quieter here in the second period compared to the first. That's a statement first period. There's Alex Ovechkin adding to the scoring. All right, 5-0 Flames, and we're actually just going to finish this game here with this period of the third. We actually add 4 more goals. Dylan Dubé, Johnny Gaudreau, Alex Ovechkin, Austin Czarnik. All right, 9-0 beat down of the Chicago Blackhawks. Don't even need to look at the stats. Our offense, went right through the roof, and another shutout, second shutout of the playoffs, of this round, I should say, for Braden Holtby. So much better bounce back night for Braden Holtby. And now we have a chance to end this series back at home in game number 5 and finish off the Chicago Blackhawks here in game 5. All right, come on, Flames. All right, nothing through the first 20 here. Much quieter first period compared to Game 4, but we do get the first goal of the game, and it comes on the power play from Johnny Gaudreau. Again, our top players now starting to go. It took them a couple games to get going. There's back-to-back goals for Johnny. It's 2-0 Flames, so one of our top players, Gaudreau, getting it done here, and I accidentally simmed the period. My bad. The second period, that is. We get a goal from Kachuk. They get one from Perlini. Let's finish off this third period now with real-time sim. Hit the wrong button. All right, so yeah, if we can just hang on to this win here, we will finish off the Chicago Blackhawks. Claude Giroux makes it 4-1 Flames. Come on, Calgary. Let's just finish this one off. So close to our first series win of these playoffs. Come on, Flames. 2 minutes to go. And we've got it. All right, so there it is. The Chicago Blackhawks have been eliminated. We advanced to the second round. Like I said, this is our goal, was to continue and get as far as we can and obviously try and win a back-to-back Stanley Cup. So we've accomplished our first of 4 goals in this Stanley Cup playoffs, first of 4 rounds, I should say, and that is beating the Chicago Blackhawks. Looks like the LA Kings swept the Anaheim Ducks in the other series, so it looks like we do have the Kings coming up. That should be a fun series, Flames and Kings in the second round. But yeah, that will do it for this round and for this episode. We'll keep it a little shorter, and the 50th episode, that is, of this franchise mode. And yeah, get right into the episode number 51. So what we do know is that there will be a 51 episode. Oh my god, I'm ready to end this episode. I'm struggling today. I apologize. There will be a 51st episode, is what I'm trying to say, of this franchise mode, as we will have the LA Kings in the second round. Obviously, we want to try and keep it going as far as we can here. Like I said, I'm hoping for 3 more episodes here in this franchise mode. That will get us up to the Stanley Cup, and we can repeat as Stanley Cup champions. Can you imagine that? What a way that would be to go out as back-to-back Stanley Cup champions to end our career in franchise mode. But nevertheless, that will do it for episode number 50 as we beat the Chicago Blackhawks in the opening round. We'll pick everything up in episode number 51.